They always surround me with guns. They're police. I can't sleep. There's a court order that said they shouldn't mistreat people like me. Since 1990s, there's a court order. The Legal Aid Society filed a lawsuit that when they vacate you from your home, the city of New York should provide you a hotel room and should make the police aware that those vacated deserve special assistance, a special type of hotel room, and help you with housing. I've been contacting this regarding, but it's only helping his fellow Black Americans. And they say right now there's all kinds of sex trafficking going on. Even the Lilita James, she's accused of creating a fake marriage to her father to get benefits. And people have been telling me I have to marry them to get benefits. The guy took me home to the Bronx and raped me. So I believe they're trying to lure me into a fake marriage because they feel I may be worth a lot of money potentially. Because the immigration arrested me wrongfully when my mother brought me in 2000, and the police took my home wrongfully. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that living in the basement apartment, it doesn't mean the police can just come and kick you out without a court order, which they did to me and my mother in 2010. And Arizona was trying to help us in court, and the police were not taking them. So they've been surrounding me with the police officers. So they said they should be framing people up and locking them up in psych wards and stuff. That's the way my mother's daughters killed her. And my mother's daughters were moving with the bad gang. As soon as me and my mother was suing the police, then she didn't know. So that daughters, especially that one called Bolali, was putting poison in my mother's food and killed my mother. And my mother had called the police a terrorist, for taking her home. She went on WB11 News. And since then they've been surrounding me with guns, don't let me sleep at night. So they run like a sex racketeering operation, and they have no right to be doing that. I'm a Nigerian, and they have no right to be forming they're not medical doctors, and they all surrounded me. And one person was screaming around me, and I woke up, I was already asleep. When I woke up, I saw somebody had left things on me. I don't keep taking food from people. I used to do that, and somebody poisoned my food. My mother used to tell me her daughter used to poison her food also, and my mother's leg would swell up, and her heart would start hurting her. And somebody gave me one food one, it was like a white woman, and I ate the food, and since then, my feet swelled up so high, my heart was beating fast, I was suffering chest pain. So the same poison they were using to poison my mother to her daughter in Pittsburgh, they were able to locate me in New York, give me that poison. And I've been seeing that daughter Bolali come to New York also. So she's lodged at an hotel, Four Seasons, I believe it's called, across the street from 100 Church Street. That's where the City Corporation Council, the lawyers that represent police officers, that whenever they kill a civilian, that's where they are lodged. So this Eric Adam has been developing policies that could get someone like me killed. So they should be locking up us in the psych ward, frame us up as crazy. And this is sex trafficking, like a sex trafficking racket. Whereby the guy took me home after they lock up all the bathrooms in 2020. All the public bathrooms in the train stations, just trying to force me into sex trafficking. And the guy took me up to his house in the Bronx. I would come use the bathroom, and he told me I have to marry him, and was raping me and stuff. And I had to call the police to come through. He said if I dare escape, he told me I has connection with the police, and the police will throw me up and kill me, with a gun. So I was trapped in his house. I didn't know how to escape, And then he started beating me up, and I called the police. And I told them to arrest him. They wouldn't arrest him. So they kicked out. Even though there was a law signed by Cuomo that in that 2020 that wherever you live should be considered your home. It's called shelter-in-place law, and nobody should remove you. If a landlord or the house owner tries to remove you, they should lock up the house owner. And I told the police about it, and they said they don't care. So please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. I'm a victim of international sex trafficking. So no wonder why I've been telling this Lilita James that please, they're trying to force me to a marriage and steal my benefit, and she doesn't respond back to me. She's also into like some percent. No, not Trump is about to arrest her. They indicted her that she also faked a marriage for benefits in Virginia. So this New York, the government here in New York, they support sex racketeering operations. sex trafficking and stuff. And this is an international war crime. They surround me with the police. I don't know what they want from me, because I didn't commit no crime. They're the one that owe me a duty to provide me housing. And I informed this Ricardo, but it's only helping Black Americans in my situation. There was a fire last year, 2024, in the Bronx, and the police had to vacate the building. And Ricardo wanted to put the Black Americans tenant in a hotel room so that this is going to provide them special housing. So it's following the court order since the 1990s, for the fellow Black Americans. But I've been contacting that same Ricardo, but doesn't want to help me. So please donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. And in case I get killed, no family member or friend should administer my state. Only civil rights activists like me should administer my state and get justice for me and my late mother. And donate the rest to charity for those the rest of my asset, and should donate the rest of my asset out in charitable contribution for those suffering in Australia like me and my late mother, and those being deported by Trump should be prioritized. Nobody should make a movie about me in case I'm killed. For example, my mother used to tell me, "You look like Michael Jackson" when I was a child. So I don't know if it also want me killed and go make a movie about me or whatever. So nobody should make a movie about me in case I'm killed, because nobody really knows my story. My mother has been killed, my father has been killed, and I never grew up around my mother's daughters. They were always living in America for a long time, and I've always stayed for a long time with my father and mother in Nigeria. So they don't really know me that well, and I'm a very private person. Even I told the U.S. immigration when they wrongfully arrested me in 2000 that I'm an introvert, and I told them, they were trying to return me back to Nigeria, and I told them I can't go back to Nigeria because my father was abusive to me, and they were asking, did I tell anybody, including my mother's daughters here in America, that my father was abusing me? I told them no. They said, why? I was like, because I'm introverted, I don't really discuss my life with anybody. So our daughters don't really know about me. I don't really, they don't really know about a lot of things in my life. And I'm very guarded about my image, so nobody should make a movie about me. Under the right of sepulcher, you have to respect somebody's wishes even after they die. That would be considered an abuse of a corpse. So whatever games they're playing, you should know it's not going to work. Surround me with police, and there's a court order since 2013. Broken federal court order that the police should stop surrounding blacks and try to frame them up, arrest them for minor things. Especially when they hold me a duty to provide me housing. Not just any. Me and my mother was put in a general shelter, and we were rushed out. Somebody poisoned our room with anthrax. Me and my mother ended up in the hospital. We were having bloody discharge from our nose, and they said the hospital system here in New York is very poor with forensic. They said there were people that was poisoned with Legionnaires in Harlem this year, and like 30 people perished in Harlem this year, and they were misdiagnosing them with pneumonia. And until the New York City Department of Health decided to investigate late to wonder if there's a new COVID outbreak, and they exhumed the bodies of these people and discovered they had Legionnaires. So me and my mother were poisoned with anthrax, but nobody would help me. And my mother was misdiagnosed us with pneumonia, even though we have blood coming from our nose. So this was going on. Please donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, and please, your donation should to me, whether on Cash App or in person. I prefer you donate it to Cash App, but if you decide to donate to me in person, because I beg for money on the street also, please know your donation should only be non-conditional humanitarian assistance. I'm not looking to get married to anybody. I'm not looking to adopt anybody's child. I'm not looking to become a surrogate. I'm not part of any cult, whether religious or sex cult or whatever. Nobody has the right to, take over my property except, as already stated earlier, that if I'm killed or I die, only civil rights activists like me should administer my state and get justice for me and my late mother, and donate the rest of my assets out in charitable contributions to those suffering xenophobia like me and my late mother, and those being deported by Trump should be prioritized. So other than that, I'm not looking to be anybody's. I'm not looking, or neither am I part of any cult. Nobody has the right to control my asset. I was a pastor on Instagram that said, if you're a Christian, all your money belongs to the church. I don't believe in that. Whatever. My money is my money. And nobody should. Even though I'm a Christian, nobody should claim, because of my Christianity, I'm a part of their cult. They have no right to, nobody has the right to control my decision making or whatever, except as I already stated. Now, in case I'm dead, my station is listed by civil actions. Like I should get just for me and my late mother and donate the rest in charitable contribution to those suffering in Australia like my late mother and those being deported by transit authorities for assistance by my charity. So this is what is going on.